Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you the second part of my June reading wrap-up. In the second half of June, I managed to read a total of 9 books. Of these 9, 6 were awesome, okay? I'm just so happy that I finished reading all these 6 books in the second half of the month. And also, the rest 3, one was utter crap. I'll talk about that. I'm going to be going in the chronological order, so there will not be good books put together and bad books put together. They'll just be mixed up, and the first 2 books are the least rated, and after that everything that I read was really good. Most of them were chunky and huge, so I was not able to read a lot more in the number of books, but the word count and page count for most of these books is damn high. So without any further ado, let's just get into the wrap up. The first book which I finished is a comic book from Marvel, and it is Wolverine Volume 1, The Rookie. And in this book we have Wolverine training a girl who is a metahuman, incidentally, and the main power of this metahuman girl is that she can phase through things. Okay, if you're a fan of The Flash, you'll understand what phasing through is without me explaining, but for others who don't actually know what phasing through actually means, it's nothing, just the power, okay, through which something can pass through objects just like that, just like, not even like wind. They are lighter than wind, and they can get into anything and just go through it, literally go through it. Okay, it's actually the power of you remember SPD Power Rangers? In that, Jack used to have a power, right? He'll be able to pass through stuff and get out. That's the power of this girl, and Wolverine trains that girl in order to use her powers properly, and he takes her on one of his missions, and how she responds despite him trying to control her. That is the main plot of the comic book. It was good, okay? If you're looking for something very chill, and if you want to read something in like 20-30 minutes, I'd highly recommend this one. And using Prime Reading, you just can't read this book. You can actually buy it and add it in your library, and it was a good read. I rated this one 3 stars. The second book which I read, it is also an ebook from Prime Reading, and it is The Proposal by M.V. Kasi. I told you, remember, there was one utter crap which I read during the second half of the month. That was this one, okay? It is nothing. It is literally nothing. It's just a simple one-line love story in which 2 lovers plot against their families and do certain stuff in order to get married. They get married. That's it. Okay, it was utterly boring. The characters were totally one-dimensional. I've read quite a few short stories. Okay, it's just 50 pages long, but it's 50 pages full of boring. I just wanted to read it in order to criticize it a lot. Okay, that's why I finished reading it. And if you want to read something totally trashy, that is how to say, you don't want to put your mind into it, you just have to read it and hate it, then I'd highly recommend this one. I rated this one just 2 stars. The next book which I finished is Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor E. Frankl. Okay, it is an audiobook from Storytel. This is a memoir of the author during in which he talks about his experience while he was trapped in the concentration camps of World War II. Okay, this is such a good book, guys. If you want something motivating enough in order to make you do stuff, actually go and do stuff, okay, you should read this book. It is such a great book. Okay, it's really short, but it is very much worth reading. It was just a 4 hours long audiobook, but the incidents that happened within those 4 hours, they are just mind-blowing in every way. And there are like 2 or 3 incidents which the author describes that made me feel a lot. Okay, made me feel so sad and so glad that I have all this around me. Okay, I'll just try to tell them in short now. The first one is one in which the families are separated usually while they are put into concentration camps. Each and every member of the family doesn't know whether the other members in the family, they are surviving it or they have been gassed and murdered just while they were captured itself. And the next one is that they are fed so poorly. They are fed just like a bit of bread and a bowl of soup every day. That's the only one meal that they get every day, despite the amount of hard work and labor that they are put through. But in that also there is certain things like the person who gets the last of the soup, he or she tends to get some of the vegetables that are sedimented down in the soup. Those things were so like real. They are so believable, so horrible, and it made me feel grateful for most of the things that I have in my life. And if you want to get such type of a motivation, then you have to read this book for sure. I rated this one 4 stars. The next one is another non-fiction book, and it is Your Erroneous Zones by Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. I'm sorry that I'm looking into the script for remembering the author's names, because they are so different from the normal authors' names whom I read. And in this book, it might seem like the title of the book is a bit dirty, but it's not. Erroneous zones are those areas in which we commit a lot of errors in life. one of the main errors that the author says that we human beings do is not something which we do in a physical way. It's just something which we put into our mind. The main error that we commit is that we limit our standards in every way possible. We don't try to step outside the boundary and try something new. Always there is this voice which tells us, keeps on telling us that don't step a toe beyond the line, because it might cause catastrophic events in your life. There's nothing wrong in trying something different and moving out of the line and doing something out of your normal routine. Okay, only by doing such stuff we can develop ourselves in life. This book is 300 pages long. Okay, it was an audiobook as well from Storytel, and it was really good. The author just tells everything in such a crude way, and he also makes you understand the point that he's trying to convey. It was such a good book. If you have no idea of what errors you're doing in your life that are like holding you back from your life in order to make some progress, then you have to read this book. It was such a good read, and I rated this one also 4 stars. Before moving on to the next book, I just wanted to tell this. I'm filming this on the 1st day of July, and yesterday, that was 30th of June, the special edition hardback cover of Shadow and Bones Collector Edition was revealed, and this is it. It just looks gorgeous, right? I want to buy this. It comes out on the 1st of October, and it's also by Lee Bardugo. That's more than enough for me. Okay, and if anyone else is excited about that, do let me know down in the comments below. And I also had to ask another question. Some people asked me to do some reading vlogs, like weekly vlogs or weekend vlogs. Just tell me if you're interested in watching such reading vlogs from me. If you're interested, I'll definitely try to make one as soon as possible, and I'll try to post it in the next week itself. But if you're not interested, do let me know even then, because I don't want to do stuff which you people don't want to watch. The next book which I finished is City of Heavenly Fire by Cassandra Clare. Now this is the last and final book in the Mortal Instruments series. I should say this is the best book which I've read in the month of July. Okay, sorry, I read this is going to hurt. So this is going to be the second best book which I've read in the month of June, and it was such a great ending, guys. Everything wrapped up in the way I wanted it to. There were certain shifts which I expected, and all those happened. The romance that she has written in this story, it makes me want to read romance more. Okay, it is such good romance. It is not kinky, it is not cringy in any way. It is so good, it is so real. When two people who are in love are put into certain circumstances, this is how they will feel for sure. Even if you're not in love like me, if you're dead single like me, even then you'll be able to understand all those romantic things that are going on in this book. And I love this for that, the magic, the plot, the characters, everything. The characters are the main focus for me in this book, and each and every main character, okay, all the 5 youngsters as well as Magnus Bane, Jocelyn, Luke, everyone had certain turning points in the book, and it was really, really good. Even Jordan and Maya, if you know what I'm speaking about, you know it. It is such a great series, and I highly recommend you to try this, because it's a really good opening way to fantasy. Also, if you want to read something really romantic and really, how to say, angsty in every nature, then you have to read this series as a whole. I rated this one 5 stars. The next book which I finished is Life of Pi by Yann Martel. The only book which I read in a single sitting throughout this month is this one. Okay, I started it by like 8 or 9 last weekend, Friday night, and I finished it around 1 or 2 mid-morning. Okay, and it was a nice book. It was very much engaging. It made me feel invested in the story. Though it was not a 5-star read, it was a 4-star read for me. The character work was really good. The way of writing in which the author has explained each and every stuff going on in the mind of a person who might be shipwrecked, who's totally alone in the presence of just a beast which might turn and kill him anytime. The psychology that has been put into this book is really awesome, and how animals might think, how they might behave. You'll not be able to predict, but you can understand certain aspects of their mind very easily if you just try to. That's really great in this book. I also have a dedicated review for this one. I'll try to link it down in the description. You should try this book, guys. It is really good. It is an easy read, and you can just fly through this, yet you'll have a really, really good time. The next book which I finished is an audiobook, and it was my most expected book which kept me exciting throughout the month, and it is my most favorite of all these, which is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix by J.K. Rowling. This is the 5th book in the Harry Potter series, and due to the readathon that I'm hosting, I've been reading one book every month. I've been rereading one book every month, and this is the fifth month, the fifth book. Actually, last month was the fifth month, and last book was the fifth book. And the first time I read this, I enjoyed it a lot. The second time I read this, I've enjoyed it a lot more. Okay, it has become my stronger favorite of all the 5 books that I've read so far. The amount of thought that J.K. Rowling has put into the effects of PTSD on Harry, it is awesome. It is really, really awesome. And we also get Luna Lovegood, who I adore a lot as a character. She's also in this, and I'm sure that the review and discussion for this book will be pretty long. So if you're a Harry Potter fan who wants to watch my videos, then please do watch out for those, and also check out my Harry Potter playlist, which also I'll try to link down in the description. It was such a great experience, guys. If you have not read the series, please do go and read it. And especially while you come to this book, you might feel that Harry is a bit too annoying, but he's so real, and the whole book is greatness, guys. Okay, I can't tell more than that. It's just a 5-star read for me. The next book which I finished is another comic book from Prime Reading, and it is Batman Volume 1, I'm Gotham. In this book, Batman is helped by 2 other superheroes who are Gotham and Gotham Girl. They both are siblings who got some superpowers, due to which they can fly, they are super strong, they can do many stuff, and it was a good read. Okay, it also focuses mostly on mental health rather than anything else. I found it so interesting to read about mental health in a comic book. Okay, usually comic books are always about fun, action, science fiction, blah blah blah, but this one was solely dedicated for the mental health of the characters. It was such a good read, and I rated this one also 4 stars. The last book which I finished in the month of June is yet another non-fiction self-help book, and it is The Quick and Easy Way to Effective Speaking by Dale Carnegie. Yes, guys, I finally finished reading this book. I started this in January, okay, and it's been 6 months since I started it. I put it down for like more than 3 months in between, and I picked it up this month, and I was convicted to finish it off, and it was just last night when I finished this one. It is such a great self-help book when it comes to public speaking in any way. Okay, it's not about English public speaking, it is just about public speaking in its sense, and I'm sure that if you follow some of these tips which Dale Carnegie has put, they are so legitimate in every sense. Okay, they are so doable. Once you start reading this book and put certain things into practice, you will understand how easy public speaking can be. I'm a person who loves to speak in public places as a public speaker, and I also found certain techniques which I use that have been spoken by Dale Carnegie in this one. While he spoke about certain techniques, I was just able to relate to certain instances from my life which I have used in college and school. It was such a great book, and if you're looking forward to read this, please do read it. And also, if you want a review or summary for this book, please do let me know, because I'm more excited to do a video on this one rather than you guys wanting it. And if you want it, it would be a bit more better. Okay, so I'll try to include some of my tips as well, and some things which I follow in order to sound good while speaking. Okay, this was such a good book, and if you want to try this, do try it out. It was a 5-star book for me. That's all for today, and if you did enjoy watching the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. And apart from all these things, don't forget to comment down about the question for my vlog if you want it or not, and about this review if you want it or not. And also, above all those things, even if you don't comment about these 2 things, I want you to comment about the books which you read in June. Do let me know. If I find some things like hidden gems, then I'll definitely try to read them in the coming months. That's all for today, and thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day.